These 3 underrated support heroes could change your MMR if played right in the current patch. In this video, my goal is to give you 3 heroes to look out for. I think all of them are either underrated in current meta or misunderstood like in case number 2. While I'm not saying they are the best supports of the patch, I believe if we had the current one for a while, they would be up there in terms of popularity and win rate. Number 3, Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon is one of these heroes that always comes back into meta at some point, even despite the fact he's not changed that much. The reason for that is the fact that he's got few tools that make him broken in certain metas. First of all, it's one of the heroes that is able to stack creep efficiently. In certain patches, stacking was something you would need to do a lot as a support, and he's one of the best heroes on doing that, especially if we consider the fact it's also quite easy, unlike Naga for example. His innate is making him a very strong laner. His base stats aren't amazing, but you increase the damage that enemies take with every hit. So in a case that you get to trade versus someone, you're getting stronger with every hit. Another reason is the fact that he's got enemy dispel built in on his ultimate. When you think about it, it's one of the best ultimates in the game. At 70-second cooldown, he's able to slow down a person for 5 seconds, deal a good portion of damage and dispel him. And the Aghanims grants you 2 charges of that. And on top of that, you get a break as well. His shard, basically the same, just reverse on allies. Against certain heroes, this is game changing. Having a good shard is very important as a support, as you're very likely to get it from Tormentor, and every good shard makes it worthwhile even more to fight for it. He gets 2 good facets, and I would say Shadow Servant is much more situational, but it can be good versus certain heroes. However, what makes this hero broken is the Disruption. It's easily one of the best spells in the game, as its skill ceiling is very high. This can not only save your allies, but also ruin enemy initiation on both sides, creates very strong illusions that can deal a lot of damage and can serve as a lot of purposes. A well-timed disruption on anti-mage can literally let you burn all the mana from enemies, even if AM blinks away. Ag jumps in, you can either hide him and save your allies that way, or just use it on ally who is about to die. Oh, and you can also have his illusions after that. A well-timed disruption can save people from things like SF ultimate, Hope ultimate or Axe Call. This hero might seem to be easy, but using his spells takes some practice. However, it is worth to start learning him right now, as in the worst case scenario he's gonna be untouched in the next patch, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him buffed as well. Number 2, Rubick. While he's obviously the most popular hero of this list, I think a lot of his strength is underrated. And to start this with, this hero is the same as he always was. He still wants to steal spells, hit his big ultimates and control tempo of the game. However, the 2 facets he's got are very good quality of life facets. In some games, you might struggle with mana as the enemy spells have big mana costs, so it's perfectly fine for you to take the one that reduces mana costs. However, if you play against certain heroes, the arcane accumulation might be very strong. If you manage to steal something like Shadow Poison, the next AoE spell that you will steal will be huge. Keep that in mind while drafting. Having the AoE increase might seem to be small, but with certain other spells it adds up. And the most underrated thing about the hero, however, is the innate. What it does is every percent of spell amp increases your magic resistance and attack damage. While the latter is not a huge deal, it's still 5 free damage at level 4. However, as for the magic resist, this is a very good reason to pick up this hero against caster heavy lineups. With a Glimmer Cape, you can easily exceed 50% magic resistance. So you're still the same Rubick that is brilliant against Enigmas, Shakers and Jakiros, but you also have an extra thing that helps you against certain lineups. And you know, while some people underrate this skill, for me it's very important. This hero is just fun to play. You can basically turn into your enemies and fight them with their weapon. And with the spell amp and the cast range you have, you might just come out of on top as well. And believe me, there's no better feeling than the one when you steal Shukuchi against Weaver and you can run through whole map. The only one that comes close is when you steal Morph and you turn all your agility into HP pool. Number 1, Disruptor. I think this is probably the most underrated support in Dota right now. There's a couple reasons for that. First of all, he's quite good laner, especially on lower ranks. It punishes bad positioning like no other support. If you ever manage to get a pull off as position 5, if enemy 4 comes, you have 4 seconds that you can call for your position 1, then glimpse enemy support back when he's trying to escape. His Q makes you a decent trader, as the attack speed slow on the Thunderstorm facet makes most of the heroes unable to right click versus him, as he gets basically a free attack or 2 in between slows you're getting. And if you decide that you don't want to trade versus him, well, he's just gonna glimpse you back. This spell is basically making you one of the best tempo controllers in the game, and paired up with some vision heroes like Slark or Night Stalker, you can get even more out of him. This is literally the best spell in the game for punishing bad positioning, and it can work retroactively. But all of the power that lies in Disruptor is the fact that this is the hero that you need to get a BKB against. There's no workarounds. If you are playing a core against Disruptor, you need to get a BKB. Why is it good for you? Well, first of all, BKB is in a quite bad state right now. It doesn't provide magic immunity, just a debuff one, so you are still taking some magical damage in the BKB form. However, there are many ways that Disruptor can force enemies to use it. First of all, glimpse. If enemy is getting glimpsed back, he has to click BKB or Manta, but that's quite hard to pull off every time, and then Manta isn't a very strong item as well. The next way, your E is almost 5-second AoE crowd control. It sets up nicely for your ultimate as well, but sometimes just getting your E off will force enemies to use the BKB. But wait, even if they do get BKBs, you have a workaround. Your Aghanim's mutes items, and if you manage to cast it, as it has instant cast time as well, they won't be able to click it in time. And if they don't get BKBs, well, it's a free game then. There's no hero in Dota that deals well with Disruptor spells if they don't have a BKB. There are heroes that have them built in, like Juggernaut or Nyx, but if they are silenced, they won't be able to click them. I'm expecting Disruptor to become very popular, as he's very strong against some of the meta heroes, SF, Wop or Furion, as they don't really like having BKB. While you obviously struggle with damage as a hero, it's not that bad, and then you provide all the control your team needs to win a game. If you have stunless lineup, Disruptor is, along with Shadow Shaman, the best hero you can pick to have any sort of crowd control. That's it for today. I hope you liked the video about 3 most underrated supports in my opinion. If you feel like another hero should be on the list, post them in the comments and remember to subscribe to the channel. See you!